everybody. This is Angela, and you're listening to Five Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is the show that gives you five NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. Today, we are joined by our special guest, Henry. Hey, thanks for being with us again, Henry.
Hey guys, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Last week, I didn't do so good. I went 1-4. My season record is 15 wins, 10 losses. I'm still at 60%, so at least I'm still above 500. You, however, went 3-2. Your win is for the season is 16 wins, 9 losses, and you're at 64%. One thing I do want to mention, our guest picker last week was Big Zay. He actually went 4-1, so way to go, Big Zay.
Way to go, Big Zay. Nice picking.
Y'all have any comments on last week's games?
Oh, there were some close games. You know that Bengals Ravens games that you picked, Angela. That was a tough loss for the Bengals. I mean, you saw how out of it Joe Burrow was after that game, and I mean they just gave that game away. I lost one Patriots and Dolphins by literally a foot, and that's the way these games are. They're very tight. Play here and there, a possession, and that's what makes these games, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, they can get frustrating, right? But yet exciting at the same time, and that's what makes picking or selecting these games against the spread or the over/under, challenging. And that's what we're here for, to kind of dissect it, and we'll see what happens at the end of a Sunday. See where we are.
Yeah, that Jets game was brutal for me too. I really thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to win that game. They would have won by one. Man, they were driving and then he throws an interception. So I lost that pick.
Yeah, that
What
was
about
tough. And
that?
excuse me, right prior to that, he missed an open receiver down the sideline that could have won it
Yeah.
outright.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Henry?
Well, for all those Cowboys fans out there, that was a real nail biter.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know which way to. Towards the end, emotionally, I didn't know where my head was in that game. I was thinking, damn, the Steelers haven't played a bad game. I think they deserve to win this game. And then the Cowboys march down, I don't know, 70 yards in 4 minutes, convert a fourth down on the last play of the game, literally. And I mean, hell, they earned that win despite me not at the end kind of not wanting them to win for some reason. My relationship with the Cowboys right now is love, hate, and sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them. So
I can relate. I can relate for sure. But that was an awesome catch at the end. So good for them.
it was.
Well, my first pick this week is going to be Jags +2 versus the Bears. Jags are coming off their first win of the year. They outplayed a very good Texan team 2 weeks ago. Jags and Trevor have experience playing in London before, winning over there, I think at least twice. And to me, this is going to be a new experience for Williams playing in London. I think that's going to benefit the Jags. Jags hopefully will build off last week's win. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a close game, but the Jags win this game outright. What are your thoughts on this game, Henry?
Yeah, you hit on some good points. Last year, the Jags won both their games in London, so they definitely have more of the home field advantage. The Jags defense is just not very good. Their pass defense is last in the NFL. Bears coming off 2 wins, be it over two weaker teams, but it seems like the rookie Caleb is kind of coming around, gelling more with his receivers. I agree with you on a high scoring game, so I would definitely lean to the over, but I'm going to side with the Jags just based off their experience.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I think Jags versus Bears, like both teams last week, found their footing offensively. Seems like Williams for the Bears is starting to, come around slowly but surely. On the offensive side, he's got a favorite target now in DJ Moore. Last couple of weeks, he's either exceeded or come close to, 100 yards receiving. So pretty obvious. Williams has found a good receiver. The running game is solid. Bears defense pretty much solid all across the board. And the Jags really played well offensively last week against the Colts, although the Colts are kind of decimated defensively. But with Trevor Lawrence at the quarterback spot, there's always a chance for him to pull out a game and certainly put some points on the board. I'm going to lean towards the over on this one at 44.5. I'm expecting both teams to really show out offensively. At least that's what I'm thinking, hoping. And we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, the Jags really perform pretty decently when they play in London. So I'm expecting a good game as well from the Jags. But I'll take the over at 44.5.
Well, my second pick is going to be Indy plus 2.5 at Tennessee. Indy was a field goal away from a 3-game winning streak. They have overcome a few injuries. Tennessee is coming off a bye, and before that, a win, but that was against Miami. And so we know where Miami's been.
Yep.
Indy is the better team here. I'll take them getting 2.5. I know Indy's quarterback situation is kind of up in the air. It's either going to be Richardson, who suffered an oblique injury, or if it's going to be Flacco. So I think that might be a game time decision, but I'm taking Indy getting 2.5 here. What are your thoughts on this game, Henry?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the other side of this game. I think the Colts are just too beat up. I think Pittman's already been ruled out, or maybe he's doubtful. You got Richardson, you got Sermon that are both questionable. I guess some may argue that the Colts are better off if Flacco does play, but the Colts are banged up on offense, banged up on defense. So I'll take the more healthy home dog.
What are your thoughts, El Gato?
Yeah, I'm with Henry on this one. I think the Colts are just too injured, too thin, too decimated, at least on paper, right? All the injuries they're reporting to stay in this game. I know they're plus 2.5. They're playing at the Titans. They're coming off a bye week. Of course, the Titans aren't, they're kind of an average, below average team. Seems like they've lost maybe a close game here and there. But like you mentioned, Angela, their only win is against, Miami Dolphins team that's really not playing well to this point. That bye week may reset the Titans quarterback Levis, and maybe they can get some things going offensively. But with Richardson not being the projected starter, or maybe even not playing in this game, Flacco, I'm not sure about his mobility anymore. Defensive struggles for the Colts. I'm going to go with the Titans being a fresh team. I think India's played one, 2, maybe 3 games in a row on the road. I think I may be mistaken, but that generally takes a toll as well. So I'm going to go with the Titans at minus 2.5.
Do you have a third pick for us, Henry?
I do. I'm going to go to the Giants Bengals. The Bengals are going to the Giants. Bengals off to a rough start. 1-4 team, 1 win over the lowly Panthers. Giants just a little bit better at 2-3, coming off a nice road win at Seattle. Giants played their best game of the season offensively and defensively. Giants defense has 7 sacks. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on with the Bengals. They got T. Higgins back last week, who had a nice game. Chase had a nice game, but Bengals still found a way to lose it. I just think it's, I think this plus 3.5 for the Giants is being a home dog. Bengals, I'm guessing bookmakers are banking off what they've done in the last couple years, not what they've done this year. I think I'm going to go with the home dog off a little momentum from last week. I'm going to go with the Giants plus 3.5.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Well, I mean, it's surprising the Bengals are 1-4, right? I mean, you would think they'd be, at least 500 or maybe on the winning side. Giants at 2-3. To Henry's point, a very impressive win last week. Playing Seattle, which is pretty strong defensively across the board and above average, pretty good offensively. But the Bengals at some point have got to put a complete game together and not give up a win, right? Like they did last week against the Ravens. With Higgins back, Chase now getting into rhythm. Bengals, however, lacking that number 1 running back, at least to get that running game going. Now I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one at -3.5. I know they're 1-4. I know they're coming off a disappointing loss. The Giants with an impressive win last week, but you know, Bengals. I'm thinking and on paper have played better teams defensively, and although the Giants are solid defensively, I don't think they have the offensive uh, power to keep up with the Bengals scoring. They seem to be scoring here the last couple of weeks, so I'm gonna take a shot, maybe go with the Bengals one more time here, and see if they can cover Bengals at -3.5. I'll go that route.
Yeah, I agree. Giants are playing better, but I'm still going to go with the Bengals -3.5. Since he was winning that game last week, they should have won that game. I just could not believe that they lost. Since he has blown the lead in 3 out of the last 4 games, but that was against good or even elite teams. Giants are not that kind of team. I expect Cincy to hold on to the lead in this game. I think they'll win by 7 or more. But Cincy D has to tighten up. They need to improve. Their defensive coordinator, Anarumo, I believe is his name. He's got to figure out a way to get Cincy's defense in better
Yeah,
shape. If he does that in this game, I think the Bengals will win. They'll cover at -3.5. Yeah,
yeah.
the
You know
fourth.
what?
What? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let me just add one more thing to that game. The Giants are going to be without one of their top edge rushers, so they got to shuffle that defensive line around, and that may be to the advantage of Joe Burrow not having to deal with an elite edge rusher for the Giants, and may make his passing lanes, his check downs just that much more easier. So I just thought I'd throw that point in there.
Do you have a fourth pick for us, Elgato?
I do. I've got the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Saints, and Tampa is going to be at -3.5. They have throughout the season they've have some impressive wins against the Eagles, against Detroit, and against Washington. They did have a difficult loss against the Falcons in that crazy game last week, and but the Saints are coming off a tough loss. They've lost 3 in a row. After that beat down that they gave the Cowboys earlier this year, a lot of the pundits on TV, including myself, thought, this Saints team is really going to do well this year. They're solid defensively. They've got Carr at the quarterback spot. They've got Kamara at the running back spot. They've got a couple of good dynamic wide receivers, but these last 3 weeks they just haven't been performing like maybe they should. Of course, they ran into a buzzsaw with KC last week, but with Carr out, now they're going to go with Spencer Rattler coming off the bench. It's always in the NFL. It's how they say next man up, but he is in the second year rookie. Hasn't played really that much, so we still consider him as a rookie. Baker Mayfield on the other side, proven veteran, has won some tight games, has performed well in against some solid competition. I'm going to go with Tampa at -3.5 here. I mean, both teams are, I'm thinking both the same competitive wise, but in the NFL, I always like to go with the better quarterback, especially when quarterback on the other side is going to be substituting for the main starter. So I'll take Baker Mayfield at -3.5, performing well against the Saints. What do y'all think?
No, Elgato hit on a lot of great points. Just to add to it, Saints rookie quarterback playing on a short week. Bucks have extra time to prepare. Um, Saints dealing with O-line injuries, D-line injuries. As Elgato said, lost 3 in a row. They scored over 44 points the first 2 games. 2 of the last 3, they scored less than 15. So I think you got to go with the better quarterback, the team playing better ball. So I'm in agreement on Bucks.
Well, I'm going to go against you guys. I'm taking the Saints in this game. Saints have had a brutal schedule at Dallas, at Atlanta, at Kansas City. Of course, those are on the road games, so those are usually tougher games. They
Mhm.
come back home. Of course, albeit with a rookie quarterback in Rattler. but I think they still get it done against the Bucks, who have suffered a heartbreaking loss last week against Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think the Saints D kept Mahomes in check last week. So I think the Saints D is going to come through for them in this game. I know they lost the game still, but they still played well. And I'm hoping to see another interception by Kalen Saunders. Man, that was pretty awesome. I don't know if y'all saw the game. That dude, he's like over 300 pounds. He had some speed to him. Did y'all see that pick?
I did see it,
Oh
and
my.
I envisioned that looked like me running, right?
Oh, yeah. That's exactly who I thought of when I was watching the game. El Gato, yeah.
Remember, Angela, way back in the day when we used to play flag football out at Zilker, or out at the stadium. That was me. But yeah,
Yeah.
all joking aside, that was an impressive interception out of the end zone, and he just hauls, you know what, down the field. And I thought wouldn't have been great if he would have broke that all the way for a touchdown. That would have been insane.
Yeah, I think he would have lost gas though in a few more yards. I think the gas would have been gone
Yeah,
in that run. But yeah, it was good to see. It was really good to see. Yeah, I think the Saints with Rattler, they're gonna snake bite the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So give me the Saints getting 3.5.
ouch. Okay, all right, be
You have
that
a
way.
fifth pick for us, El Gato?
I do. It's the Lions at -3 versus the Cowboys, and Cowboys coming off, I'm going to say it, a lucky win against the Steelers. I think the Steelers played well enough to pull that game off and win it outright, but they didn't. That's the way you have to put that W up on the board to officially call it a win. But the Cowboys really performed well there in that last drive, converting a couple of third downs, crucial third downs, maybe a fourth down or two, especially that last one. But the Cowboys are struggling. Their run game is just awful. They just can't get anything going on the run side. I know uh, Dowdle, the Cowboys running back against the Steelers, had a decent game, but consistently uh, for the season, they really haven't had that run game going. And that's where the Lions can really shut the Cowboys down with their defensive line. They have a couple of run stoppers right in the middle. They have Hutchinson off the edge uh, to stop the run as well, and fairly decent linebackers, some solid cornerbacks. And the Cowboys are going to be challenged in this game offensively. They got to get something going if they want to have a chance to win. Of course, Lions, dynamic offense, solid offensive line, creating running lanes for Montgomery and for Gibbs. Got the quarterback being able to hit their wide receivers downfield and the check downs. I think the Cowboys are also going to be challenged defensively to try to keep up with the Lions offense, but we'll see. I'm going to take the Lions at -3, and the team that has the better line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, I think will impose their will on the team, and I'm going to think it's the Lions that are going to run the Cowboys up and down the field in this game. So we'll see. Lions -3.
What do you think about this game, Henry?
Well, I think the Cowboys definitely got to play better than what they did last week if they're going to have a chance with the Lions. They turned the ball over way too many times against the Steelers. If that happens again, I think Lions blow them out. But, be curious what Jerry Jones thinks about being a home dog to the Detroit Lions. I'm sure that wasn't in the mix.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not sitting real well with him.
True.
Hey, but
Yeah.
it's well deserved, I think.
I think at the end of the day, the Lions are the better team. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So I do like the over. I think the over under is 51.5. And I think you just have to go with the better team. I think the Lions are the better team. Cowboys don't seem to be clicking on all cylinders. Defense isn't quite what it was last year. So take the Lions -3 and the over.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all have said. Dallas has struggled. Even when they win the game, they have struggled. Dallas is dealing with a lot of injuries on defense. That's going to have a big effect on this game. Lions are coming off a bye. They're the stronger and healthier team. So I think Lions will cover at 3. So give me the Lions.
Love it.
Hey, you guys, y'all have any final thoughts?
Well, you know what? We're mid October, week 6 already. There's been some surprise teams. A couple of them I can mention. Washington, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that Washington has themselves a quarterback finally, right? I mean,
Oh,
that dude can play. I mean, he
Jaden
can
Daniels,
scramble.
man.
Yeah, Daniels, he can run when he has to. He can throw the check downs. He can hit post patterns. He can hit the long sideline. You swear this guy has been in the league 3 years already, but he's just a rookie and just going to get better. Vikings, of course. I know they have a bye week this week, but I think they're kind of the surprise team in the NFC. Another surprise team I mentioned earlier, Bengals at 1-4. That's going to be tough sledding. I don't think they can dig themselves out of that hole and just to make the playoffs. They're going to have to put on a win streak of about 5 or 6 games here these next couple of weeks, right? These next several weeks. Ravens starting to come around uh, after losing the first couple of games, losing some tight games. Now it seems like they're rounding out into the big bad North AFC North team, and of course the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They've got Mahomes at the quarterback spot, and we see the way he performs every week. So yeah, surprise teams, and I can go maybe a couple more teams, but I'll let you guys talk.
well, I just wanted to give a shout out to my U of H Cougs. They actually scored for the first time in 3 weeks. And
Wow.
and they won the game. So I had to sport
Hey,
a U of H shirt.
magic happens when you can score, right?
Yeah. First, step one, score.
Yeah.
Then you figure out if you're going to win the game. No, but I was just going to comment on tonight's game. You got a divisional game between the 49ers and Seattle. I think that's 49ers are scuffling. And
They
obviously
are.
they're missing CMC, but they got to figure out how to put some wins together.
Yeah.
A must win for both teams, right? It's usually like one team, it's a must win for them. They got to play with more urgency, but with two teams having to win, I mean, it's going to be a street fight. I'm thinking it's going to be a very competitive, maybe even a chippy game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. I think it's going to be a good game. I know it's not part of the picks, but what do you think? Who do you think is going to cover?
I forget what's the spread on this, Henry? Do you know?
It's 3.5.
Yeah.
3.5. Seattle minus 3.5.
Seattle's a home dog of 3.5.
Yeah, at 3.5.
I think I'll take Seattle on this one with points.
Getting the points.
Yeah, I think I'll
Yeah.
take Seattle. Especially coming
Hey,
up at that embarrassing loss against the Giants last week. I
I
think they come through.
I agree. It's hard to the way the 49ers are playing. It's kind of the Lions kind of a head scratcher of why are they going on the road and 3.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Seattle covers tonight. I think the 49ers, they have too much going on.
Yeah, they got some problems. Purdy is just kind of playing the way he did. I know he's played well with the 49ers, right? He has.
Yeah.
He's had some solid players around him, but it reminds me of the way he played in college with Iowa State. You know, turnovers, getting jumpy in the pocket, making mistakes. But expecting a very competitive game. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Well, if you've made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you for listening to our podcast. Hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel. You can also find us wherever you get your favorite podcast. Hey, thank you for being with us today, Henry.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Make sure to join us next week. Next week, we'll have Alex and Rudy on the podcast with us. And as always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, bet.
Wrap. All right.